Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm Northern Soul Reaper and today I want to talk about The Guardian of the Witch. Guardian of the Witch is the latest addition to Weekly Shonen Jump's lineup with art and story by Asahi Sakano. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Chapter 1's just dropped on the Shonen Jump and Manga Plus apps, and having read it a couple of times I want to give my opinion on it. Now before we start guys, if you like this kind of video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to get everything as it comes out. It would mean a lot. Guardian of the Witch takes place in the city of Bern, which is a big walled off city. Reminiscent of Attack on Titan kind of, because on all sides of this city they are beset by evils. Now evils are these grotesque monster-like creatures. They look like kind of mutated animals. You don't really get too much of a good look at them at the start, but in the opening sequence there's a stampede of them heading towards the walls. Now evils are basically trying to get through the walls and kill all the humans, and just as the horde is about to reach the gates, there's a large sweeping wall of fire crosses the field in this lovely double page spread, and we are shown that this is the work of the witch, the titular witch, Manasva. Now Manasva is the witch of the story, but her guardian is Fafnir. Now he is tasked with protecting her, and in the initial sequences where we see them together, you definitely get the distinct impression that he doesn't like her, and also that he doesn't like witches in general. Manasva teases him quite a bit, but he doesn't really rise to it. He just sort of stays very straight-laced and kind of, he plays it very straight. And we are given an explanation for that in a little bit of a flashback. So when Fafnir was younger, an evil managed to get through the gates undetected somehow, and it killed his entire family. And this kind of disdain for witches grew from there, and it strengthened this resolve that he had. He wants to make it a world where guardians are the only ones that are needed to protect the city. He thinks that witches should be eradicated. Now Fafnir goes to the rector, which is the kind of church / head of state. It's kind of religious looking, but he's basically the head of state, and he's giving his routine report on his protection detail of Manasva. And it's during this report where Fafnir says, look, I don't want to be the guardian of the witch anymore, find someone else, I want to just go back to the military. And the rector says, yeah, we can do that, but you have to do one last thing, one last task. You have to kill the witch. And we are now told that the guardian of the witch's sole task is not actually to protect the witch, it's to kill them when the time comes. Now the rector goes on to say that only a few people know about this, but witches are not born, they are made, they are manufactured. The state takes around 3,000 young 12-year-old girls and they inject them with a seed of evil. Now this is something that is harvested from evils, and the evil seed grows, and from those 3,000 girls only an absolute handful make it through to be witches. And whilst this seed gives them their power, it also grows inside them very slowly and eventually corrupts them. And at this point we are shown a clip, a video recording of Manasva's medical review, and we see that all over her body are these strange markings, and in her abdomen is like this weird eye thing, reminding me a bit of the monsters in Noragami with the moving eyes in the flesh. So it's revealed that Manasva is she's too corrupt to continue, so Fafnir now has to kill her. Now Manasva has been given leave to go into the city, to leave and go about, wander around and actually explore a bit, because usually she's confined to the witch's tower, which is in the centre of the city. And Fafnir is hiding out, waiting to ambush her and her maid and kill Manasva. So right as he's getting ready to attack, Manasva and her maid are having a conversation, and the maid says, Lady Manasva, why haven't you told Fafnir his true duty? Why haven't you told him that his real task is to kill you? And Manasva says, because I hate witches too, and when I'm with him and we argue and things and we bicker, I can feel normal. I don't have to feel like this creature that's caged up and just released to kill the evils and then locked back up. I can feel like a normal girl who just happens to have powers. And I thought that was a really touching scene. And Fafnir, having overheard that, predictably, he has a change of heart. And as he's hesitating, the Rector sends in another squadron to apprehend Manasva. Now, the Guardian is the only person who can legally, the only person who has the right to kill the witch. But the Rector says, well, I can send this squad in, they can restrain her, and then Fafnir can kill her from there. We can force him to kill her. So right as the squadron is about to reach Manasva, Fafnir intervenes and blocks the attacks. And he says to Manasva, I don't want to be the guardian of the witch anymore. I want to kill all the witches. So from this day I resign as guardian of the witch. I am now the guardian of you. I'm the guardian of Manasva. So give me my first order. So after a bit of hesitation, Manasva says, okay, I want you to make me the last witch. I don't want anyone else to suffer because of magic again. So Fafnir takes his instructions, he knocks out all of the attackers, and they go on the run. And the chapter ends with Fafnir, Manasva and her handmaid all going on the run, enemies of the state. So that's where the first chapter ends. I really enjoyed this first chapter. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited to see where more of the story goes and to see where what the implications are of the hero's actions in this first chapter. They've basically defied the state, and it seems like they're all powerful. We don't know the extent of their power or their influence or what lengths they're willing to go to. But a big government organisation that walls off its citizens and seems to control the one source of defence can't be good, right? So I'm really excited to see where that goes, and it seems like we're going to get a good amount of kind of Fafnir and Manasva looking into how to stop these the witches being produced, because at the end as well, Fafnir says if there's a way to make a witch, there must be a way to unmake one. We'll turn you back into a human. So it seems like there's going to be a bit of that as well, than figuring actually how witches are made and how to deconstruct and reverse that process. So a first chapter always has its work cut out for it, because it has to hook you in with a compelling story, compelling characters, set up this new world and tell you what you're going to be reading week to week. But I really appreciate that Guardian of the Witch took the time in the slow moments to give us some lore. It went into the lore of the world and how witches are made, and I really appreciated that it kind of took that slower pace. I thought the chapter was really well paced, to be honest, throughout. It knew when to be quick and get through things, and it knew when to slow down and give you a bit more information. I was also really impressed with the action sequences. Something that was lacking in Undead Unluck, I thought, was coherent action sequences, but this one has it in droves. Fafnir's a really capable fighter, and when he takes down all of the ninja-like creatures with the weird masks, which by the way, want to know more about them and what other kind of fighters that the government has. But when Fafnir's taken those down, the combat has a really nice flow on the page, and we get to see his combat prowess as he uses his guardian skill dual stance. One thing that can't be overstated in a manga, I love them, backgrounds. I love a good background in a manga because it builds the world up and gives you a sense of place. It really kind of establishes the world. This one had it. There's sequences where Fafnir's walking through town and it's just a beautifully drawn town, but it looks really good. I really like a good background scenery in a manga, and I'm happy to say that I was kept happy through this chapter. The grotesques, the evils in particular, I thought were a bit generic. You only get to see them a little bit, but they kind of just looked like mutated animals. The character designs themselves are really good. Fafnir's kind of your average shonen hero, but other than that, Manasva's character design's really good, and the faces are really well drawn. The expressions, they're very emotive. The artist manages to capture people's emotions from panel to panel, so really like that as well. In summary, I thought Guardian of the Witch got off to a really strong start, and I'll definitely be checking out chapter 2. I'm really excited to see the consequences of the protagonist's actions, to see where they go from here. And I'm really excited to see where the overall story goes and the dynamic between Fafnir and Manafsa. It seems like Fafnir might be warming up to her a little bit due to what you overheard, but I definitely feel like there's going to be more character dynamics to it than that, and we're going to get some good moments out of the series, comedic moments as well. And I'm also really looking forward to seeing how Fafnir and Manasva deal with being pitted against the machinations of the state. So it's going to be a really cool, there's going to be some cool battles, I think, as they try to reverse engineer this process of creating witches and also trying to, to stop witches being made at all. So that's it for the video today, guys. What did you think of chapter 1? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like? What didn't you like? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to get the content as it comes out. Thank you very much for watching until the end. I've been Northern Soul Reaper, and until next time, goodbye.